Welcome to The Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Doc McLeod. So without any further ado, let's delve right into it. We are really excited today about everything that's been happening. Hey, good day, my good people. I hope I find you well. Right, I just said to myself, let me just put together this short video just to let people know, or just share with people to see what they think. Right, as you can see, the M31 movement headed by Comrade Blessed Rune Sugeza is gone quiet now. Not quiet as in going quiet, but quiet as in stopping to reveal names and strategies and plans, because they are now well aware that everything that they are saying or planning is now being counterattacked. So in that process, they have decided now to go mute and just do things in private. Now let's refer to the military drills that have been announced that's going to be in places like Lenora, thereabout, the locations. It is very unusual for the military to be deploying themselves in public spaces. We've got a lot of places where military drills can take place. So let's break it down and try and find out what's happening. Then I'll try link it to one or two things regarding to what I have been told or informed about. Right. In the last broadcast of Comrade Blessed Rune Sugeza, the broadcast had to be disrupted abruptly because there was sort of like penetration within their camp, like what I'm well informed. So in that process, everyone had to, those who needed to take cover needed to take cover, those who needed to hide, and those who needed to stand to defend had to do what they had to do to save the day and the situation. It meant to say where Comrade Blessed Rune Sugeza is well known or was established. So basically from ever since then, you've seen that he's gone quiet. That's one of the reasons why. Now let's look at the letter that has been done for the 3rd to the 6th of June. This is a 4-day drill. We are counting the 3rd as day number 1, 4th as day number 2, 5th as day number 3, and 6th as the 4th and final day of the drill. So we're not just saying 3 to 6 and then we say 3 days. No, it's a 4-day drill according to what is being put on the ground here. But the interesting thing is all the communication, what makes it very strange is most of the time our relationship with the Zimbabwe Defense Forces is through the Minister of Defense. That's how we as civilians relate to the ZDF. But at this point in time, the communications were made by a member of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, not the Minister of ZDF, who is Honorable Opa Muchinguri. She's my sister, by the way. It's not come through here at this point in time. So what does that mean and what does that symbolize? Things that needs to be looked very close into. It looks as if now we have got the progressive force, which is the M31. Can you call them rebellions or rebellions? Can you call them that? I think it would be a bit too harsh. So let's just say we've got the progressive forces of the M31 versus the president's the faithful force of the sitting president, which has always been there. So now we've got two divides. It's no longer a hidden issue here. Like I told you, there's not one person with absolute power. So the deploying of these tankers, what does it mean? Can it be the president trying to counter what he knows is now being planned? Can it be the action again from the president, knowing that the Geza movement is gone quiet, they are no longer announcing their plans, now they are not so sure about what's happening, and they are now trying to show that we are still on the ground, don't even dare. Because there's so many places where people could have There's so many places where people could have, where the ZDF could have deployed their tankers, but this time they've decided to deploy them within the civilian people's space, which is the residential places. It means to say a lot is happening behind the scenes. The communications we are hearing and having here have been made by the commanders, and that makes it very strange, because only in wartime can we hear commands from the commanders. Anything else, we've got to be hearing most from the Minister of Defense. But if it's a national issue, then we've got to be hearing it from the Commander-in-Chief, who is the President himself, if it's anything to do with our nation. But at this point in time, we see that the letter has been written and put to the public domain by the member of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. It is actually the military director for Relations Commander, Zimbabwe National Army. His name is Hlengiwe Dube. He is the one who has actually put it out, and if you look at the stamp, you will see that the stamp has got just the month and the year, but the date affixed of 03 has been put in or inked in using a pen. It has been written by a pen to say 03 of the 06 of 2025. Makes it very strange. I want to believe we've got some professional stamps, if I want to be very honest. A very, very well proper professional stamp could have been used to make it more legit. But I'm not saying it's not legit. It is legit, but something fishy is just being revealed out there. That something is just being done. And I feel like the Minister of Defense, Honorable Opam Chinguri, has been bypassed in this, because she, according to the Constitution of Zimbabwe, is the one that is supposed to be making the announcement to the general public. Had it been a national crisis, like I said, it could have been the president, who's the commander-in-chief. But this time, Hlengiwe Dube comes, the Director, Army Relations Commander, Zimbabwe National Army, and he's the one who has put a letter out, which has got some dodgy corners in it. Like I said, it doesn't invalidate the letter, but it's just showing that things were not done properly. Is this another sign to show the big divide within the ZNA? Right. Like I said, our relationship with the army most of the time is through the ministry. And it's not Honorable Opam Chinguri who comes to make this announcement, but it is Hlengiwe Dube. What does it mean? What does it mean? We are having something. Is it a sign that the challenges have escalated? Is it a sign that the Zimbabwe Defense Forces announces to people that we are now bypassing the ministry and doing it ourselves? Is it another sign to show the Zimbabwe Defense Forces trying to show that we are now independent of anybody? We are now standing by ourselves. It cannot just happen overnight. Is it a move by the Progressive Army or in support of the M31, who are now also trying to flex muscles? Like I heard that some people suggesting that, remember, at some point there was tankers that once came and were aligned into Borodor Road there about some time, about three months ago, and some people were celebrating, some people were making noise about it, but very few people would take time to verify what it was. So at this point in time, other people are now saying it is the M31 that's now showing that we can also flex powers. We also have got what it takes, and we don't need the minister present. Henceforth, we can just do whatever we want now to show you that we are no longer under your control. If you look at the letter, it's not like ministerially presented, but it is just a letter from the ZNA straight right to the public domain. This is very unusual. Let's continue to have a closer look at everything, and then we try analyze exactly what it is. I have tried to make contact with one or two people, but everyone who I have spoken to seem not to be quite so sure about it. Which brings what I always say, that there is a thin line between friends and enemies in politics. You don't know now who to trust and who not to trust. At the very same time, your enemies don't come with pointed ears and long nose. They are just normal human beings by yourself. No one is now trusting anybody. It is now within the close circles that people are communicating. So it's not easy anymore to be getting information like we used to do. We only get this information and confirmation, but it is in nodding and in signs, but nobody wants to be saying anything because nobody wants to be recorded. Most of the time when I'm making these inquiries, I'm now being forced to do video call so that I show them my background, I show them everything for them to open up with me. At the very same time, I've given my word that I'll never let anybody know who's giving me information or who it is that I'm talking to. At this point in time, I can tell you that the tensions are within the barracks. Like I've always said, that everything else is no longer for the public. Everything else is now within the military forces, the ZDF. The tensions are not subsidizing, they seem to be tightening. If you look at Comrade Blessed Geza, he said this time is not going to be coming public, he's going to keep everything secret and private, aided by his personal body stature, you know, health-wise. He is not just supposed to be coming out any minute, any time, but truth of the matter is it's getting dirtier and dirtier by the minute, if not by the second. Everyone is flexing their muscles. Everyone wants to show that we are in charge. And who's gonna bully who? Are we gonna have a peace pact at some point, or something has to happen first before a peace pact comes into play? Who's now joining with who? Because there are some people that are straddling on both sides. The sitting president obviously wants certain people also to continue being faithful with him while he draws one or two people to be on his side. Then there are some people who are neutral, who are not so sure about which next step to take. Rumors are starting to spill around because Nelson Chamisa also came out and just said what he said. But what I have informed is there is an offer that was once put before him, and it's a timed offer which he has got to respond to in time before the next move is taken. To the people that are also doing the transitional government document draft, it is said that another option is to get a bishop or a man of God who is trusted by many, who is trusted by many to lead in the transition. Who could that man of God be? I know the Makandiwa people will start to say, I think Makandiwa will do. Let me tell you, his name is in the hat as well. I've heard that, and I'm like, oh, really? Okay. So many things are happening out there. They might not be talking, they might not be acting, but this is what I'm also hearing. It's come my way. They are looking. Other people were looking at Bishop Mutendi of what do you call it? This church in Masvingo. But people are like, he's known to be too aligned to one side of the fight. So that's what disqualifies him. Comrade Butabwashe, is it Butaunashe? Bishop or Reverend Utaunashe was a talented figure again within the lines, but I think some of the comments that he made sometime have made him now to be scrutinized more. Had he not done that, I was told that he was also going to be a very, very figure on the forefront to be mentioned in the lines of the people that are looked to make sure that in case things don't work and they are needing a transitional government, he can be a figure to be put on there. So names are still being thrown in, and I'm still continuing to inquire to try find out. Everything I get to hear, I'll continue to feed on this platform. As of now, stay blessed, remain favored, enjoy your day. Bye for now.